このドレスは愛の証。これは
Hello, Octopath Traveler community, Silverox is here, and this week we finally have Sacred Hearts. They're here. So this video is going to be covering the first of the two Sacred Hearts units, Elrica EX2, the Bride of the Sacred Heart. No more waiting, they're here. Alright, role overview for Elrica EX2. She is a dancer, but also a warrior. Her role is that she is a light DPS / light fragility applier. Her special abilities is that in battles, her class is also considered to be a warrior for any passives that require warriors, aka Marez. She can also inflict light fragility to all foes from the start of battle and with her EX skill. So what fragility is she's the first unit to add it, and more units will get it in the future. Fragility is kind of like implant, but not implant. It's similar to implants as it stacks up to 9 stacks, losing 1 stack per hit. However, fragility is not a weakness for doing full damage to enemies. However, it will result in 1 extra shield being lost when triggered by its corresponding element / weapon. If the target was already weak to the type of fragility, then they will take an additional 50% damage per stack of fragility. Finally, only 1 type of fragility can be active at a time. So basically, if you combine this with someone that's implanting light weakness to so like if an enemy is not weak to light, you can implant light weakness, then fragility on top, and then fragility will work fully. If they're already weak to light and you hit them with fragility, they're going to take 2 shields per hit because they're taking the fragility shield damage and the shield damage for the weakness being hit. That's kind of how it works. And yeah, a 50% damage boost is an extremely huge debuff to have on enemies. Even if it's only for 9 hits, that's still a lot of extra damage that can make you easily able to cap without having full buffs. Anyway, her preferred weapons would be Brilliant Fans for damage cap, as a DPS will always be her best option. Preferred accessories is her own A4, as she seriously does kind of need it for the Lion's Pride buff. Damage cap otherwise, as she is a pure DPS and needs as much as she can get. Lion's Pride, as a reminder, is a unique buff originally from Marez, but Elrica EX2 can grant it from her ultimate and her A4. She really needs it to function, like desperately, otherwise she's kind of a mid unit. Lion's Pride also gives a passive 10% passive physical attack, magic attack, and crit up. So for her passive skills, her basic passive is that her attack becomes a light elemental attack that also can crit with magic. In battle, Elrica EX2 is also a warrior. Her 1-star passive is at the start of battle, inflict 9 stacks of light fragility onto all foes. Her 3-star passive is self 20% magic attack light damage up, and also raise the passive magic attack / light damage up buff limit to 50%. The 6-star evolution is that if self has Lion's Pride, also add 30% of physical attack to magic attack. Her TP passive is that when in the front row, potency up buffs applied to Elrica EX2 and all warriors will be 1.5 times more potent. This does not stack with other buffs that do the same thing, so the highest value will be applied to those other buffs that do that. Also, if self has Lion's Pride, double cast offensive skills. This is why she needs Lion's Pride to function, because she needs that double cast to be even decent, otherwise she's just kind of bad. And the problem is Lion's Pride is annoying to get if you don't use Marez, and that's not the best thing, but we'll go over that later. The TP level 2 enhancement for this is that also increases the potency of HP barriers given by 1.5 times via the same thing. She has to be in front row, and it's for all warriors, and she's also considered a warrior, so it's herself and all warriors. Her TP2 priority, this would be mid, specifically for her ult mainly, so it can help, otherwise not as useful, because her ult does give HP barrier, so if you are running her in a team of warriors for some reason, which is a very weird synergy, but you can do it, I guess, then her HP barrier will be better, otherwise, the HP barrier for herself with this TP2 will only help herself if you're using her ult that affects her. So yeah, not as great as it could be. Moving on to her skills. Her base kit, she is a 1-hit single target light that exploits sword and lightning, a 1-hit AoE light that exploits sword and lightning, a 3-hit random target light that exploits sword and lightning, a 3-hit random target fan that exploits sword and lightning, then a self 30% magic attack / light damage up for 36 turns that reaches front row at max boost, and then a 3-hit AoE light that exploits sword and lightning, and yeah, that's all those skills are pretty basic. As you can notice that she doesn't have any skills that really help support sword. So even though you could run her in a warrior team, but that she's not doing much for a warrior team, which is why it's really weird. Her 4-star skill is that she has a one-hit single target light that exploits sword and lightning with a 100,000 damage cap up. If Self has Lion's Pride, it becomes 2 hits instead. That is separate from the double cast, so it'd be 4 hits actually with Lion's Pride. Her 5-star skill is she has a Self 30 to 100% potency up for 3 turns, plus restore 2 BP to Self plus repair to ally. If Self has Lion's Pride, also grant Self 150,000 damage cap up for 3 turns. Another reason why she needs Lion's Pride to function, because that's a lot of damage cap that she really needs. Then she has a 4-hit random target light that exploits sword and lightning, and if Self has Lion's Pride, it becomes 6-hit random target instead. So then she can double cast that and it becomes 12 hits, and that becomes her best nuking option. Again, she has to have Lion's Pride. Her TP passive is a 1-hit single target light that exploits sword and lightning with a plus 200,000 damage cap when there's a broken enemy. The TP level 2 enhancement of this is that the power is increased to 1,000 power at max boost. The damage cap bonus increased to 400,000. The TP2 priority of this is actually very low because she didn't get damage cap multiplier, so this will not beat out doing 12 hits, and it's only decent if you cannot reliably give her Lion's Pride. But if you're doing that, you probably shouldn't have been pulling her anyway. Her EX skill plus ultimate technique is her EX skill has 2 total uses. It's unlocked from turn 3 onwards. Her EX skill is inflict AoE 9 stacks of light fragility, and then do a 6-hit single target light that exploits sword and lightning. This would become 12 hits, but the power is much weaker than her 6-hit random target light, so if that's an option, use that. For damage, at least. Her ultimate technique is a support class ultimate called Adoris's Exaltation. It grants the front row 25% potency up for 2 turns, plus HP barrier equal to 100% of Elrica EX2's max HP. Also grants all allies Lion's Pride for 3 turns. At ultimate level 10, the potency buff scales to 50%. At ultimate level 20, the potency buff scales to 75%. That is also before her passive, if that affects her or her allies, of course. At ultimate level 20, the starting charge is 40%. 40% charge per BP, 80% with AU. 4 BP to full charge, 2 BP with AU. The 200% gauge activation is back surge, which means she can cast this ultimate from the back row before her paired ally acts. Her AU priority. Her A4 is top priority. However, beyond that, if seriously using her, she really wants AU for the second use of her ultimate, as it's the only way she can give herself Lion's Pride, as running with Mahrez while thematic is actually terrible team synergy. So if you cannot A4 her, I'd AU before Awakening, but otherwise chase A4 first. For Awakenings plus A4 plus TP2 bonus, A1, extra stats is always good, especially with stat conversion. A2 is a luxury. A3, HP for Squishy Dancer always helps, plus better HP barriers. Her A4 accessory is the White Bouquet of Eternal Vows. It gives 90 SP, 200 magic attack, and then minus 50 physical defense and magic defense. So what it does is it grants Self 150,000 damage cap up, and at the start of battle, grants Self Lion's Pride for 3 turns. The A4 tier rating is SSS tier. Hello, new best A4 in the game. Damage cap over 100,000, now 150,000. Yeah, there's nothing else to say that it's just that good, as damage cap is everything in COTC. For Elrica EX2 use specifically, that Lion's Pride bit really helps her, because, like, she cannot function without Lion's Pride. Her TP level 2 bonus from having both active plus passive TP2s, Elrica EX2 gains 50,000 damage cap. The TP2 priority of this is high if you're actively using her in your teams. She really wants all the damage caps she can get. So even if her TP2 upgrades that I rated as much lower are not the best, her bonus if actively using her makes it worthwhile. So I know I've had some people like ask, well, why do I rate the bonus so high if the other ones are low? It's just that I want to make it clear that if you're actively using a unit, it is important, but if you're not able to get to the bonus and you only can do one at a time based on your mat income, then the order of how you select them matters too. That's why I rate them all individually. Like, I know it's weird because the bonus could be everything, and the active and the passive could both be garbage, but if the bonus is amazing, you don't have a choice. I get that, but I'm still trying to rate them as objectively as possible. For optimal skill loadout plus battle flow, which is a new thing I'm doing, that I'm going to be doing starting with this review and all future ones. Skill 1, 4 to 6 hit random target light, so it becomes 12 hits with her double cast, best nuking option that she has. Her skill 2, the Self 30 to 100% potency up, so for her it become 150% potency up, plus 150,000 damage cap with Lion's Pride. She needs this because that's damage cap is everything in COTC. Skill 3, the self 30% magic attack / light damage up. If you do max boost, it is front row, so you can then use that to potentially give the front row support in a light team, which can be very useful. And then skill 4, if you have a 2, would be 3-hit AoE light, so you have an AoE option, become 6-hit with Lion's Pride, so you have some options there. Battle flow. Elrica EX2 to set up needs Lion's Pride to function, or she is a really bad unit. Thus, her flow is about setting up with self buffs and then using her ult to give herself Lion's Pride. If you have AU, she will actually want to cast it twice back to back to stack Lion's Pride duration long enough so she can use her self potency buff plus damage cap buff the turn before break, so she can double cast both turns of break for maximum damage. And the reason I say that is unless you have another source of active damage cap or whatever, her damage cap buff's going to run out because it only lasts 3 turns. For the 150,000 that get damage cap self thing, but her self potency up buff for 150% potency buff that also only lasts 3 turns. So you can't use that and the ultimate the turn before break, because then Lion's Pride's gonna run out or the potency buff's gonna run out. So the only way that makes that work is yes, if you have AU, instead of back searching her ult, you need to use her ult in the front row twice in a row. Because while you can't extend unique buffs like Lion's Pride, you can stack the duration. So if you use her ult twice in a row, that's going to be 6 total turns of Lion's Pride minus the 2 turns you're going to use it. So she's still going to have 4 turns left, which gives you a turn to use the self-potency up, and then she's still going to have Lion's Pride for both turns of break to go to double cast. That's why if you're actively using her, she kind of needs AU. Or you need to use Mahrez in her team, which is, as we said, not optimal. Speaking of unit synergy, Mahrez, kind of kidding. Yes, he can easily give her Lion's Pride by existing, but then you're sacrificing a slot just for him in a light comp, and it's not likely the best idea because he only benefits her and nobody else, and that's not a good idea. Because you can if she's a primary DPS for you, and if you don't have her A4 to AU to give herself Lion's Pride, because yeah, if you don't have her A4 to start with Lion's Pride and then her AU to then extend Lion's Pride, or at least ultimate on top of the A4 to extend Lion's Pride, then you have to use Mahrez with her, or she's a bad unit. She cannot function without Lion's Pride. She's not very well good designed. She looked cool, she's really strong, but she's not well designed. I'm gonna be honest. Pardis the third EX. Extreme light DPS on the same banner as her, as good as her good version of her father, he teams up with her very well. Hikari EX, amazing light DPS to complete a full power light comp. Edgar, amazing light support options and ultimate. Aviette, what team is she not good on? Yomi, potent light support options even if she's slightly better for ice. Ayla, any magic team loves the Kate Scholar for his absurdly good ultimate buffs. Molruso EX, rainbow buff for exploits plus damage cap buffs. Setzer can lock implants to allow light to always work in any fight. Lynette EX can give implants for Setzer to lock plus awesome magic buff passives and ult debuffs. The Lynette EX plus Setzer combo can work for all elements, not just Rainbow. Alright, so to pull or not to pull plus overall rating. Sacred Hearts is finally here, and Elrica EX2 is really cool, but also at the same time not. What do I mean? Well, it's that she is actually super difficult to optionally use unless you invest heavily and get dupes for her. Which, you may have heard, no unit needs dupes 99% of the time. Well, here's the exception. She really needs her own A4/AU to get Lion's Pride up unless you sacrifice a unit slot to run her with Mahrez, which really isn't the best idea. I've said that multiple times because I'm trying to hammer that in. They literally set her up to be like, oh, well, you can run her with her husband, but that's a terrible idea because their synergy sucks besides Lion Pride. It's really dumb. I don't know why they did that. They should have just given her a skill that gives her Lion's Pride or something, not just her ult. It's really sad. Anyway, that being said, she has the new best A4 in the game that all accounts with a large dash once, period. If you cannot chase her A4, I'd honestly recommend skipping her unless you really want to run a light focus comp that badly. Or if you just are obsessed and love Elrica, I mean, that's an option too. Anyway, as always, pull advice is just advice. Please pull and have fun your own way. Free-to-play, Tier 4 free-to-play skip, unless you have like 30 to 40k and have been saving for this A4. Low spin/passes skip, same deal. Dolphin, A4, you've probably been saving for this. I know I have. Whale, A4 AU. Overall rating, DPS A+, support B, heal not available, tank not available, overall tier A+. So yeah, that's Elrica EX2. She is the exception to the rule, as she unfortunately does need dupes to actually function. So that's why it's really hard for people to pull. Otherwise, yeah, Sacred Hearts is here, and for all the people that are chasing A4, please look forward to that. Unfortunately, while I am able to still record videos and I'm able to in advance, like when I hear about a unit, like I'm able to get up in the middle of the night like I did to make this video and stuff like that, I'm able to make the videos, but I'm unfortunately not in the physical capability to live stream yet, so I will be recording my A4 chasing to upload that. So anyone that was looking forward to the live stream, I do apologize, that's not going to be happening, but I will be recording my A4 chasing for this banner, so please stay tuned to that. I might do it in a VC with a friend, but I like I said, I am not in the capability to live stream due to my condition acting up right now. Speaking of that, thanks to anyone that does support the channel. It means the world to me, as I do try to make this work full time, because with my disability and condition, I am unable to work normal jobs, so I am trying to make YouTube work to help pay for medical bills. So thanks to anyone that helps support me there. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out the channel memberships, as there's some amazing perks, including one-on-one direct access and COTC. If you need help, please check out the channel memberships by clicking the join button below if that interests you. There's even trial options as well to let you try out a membership for free to see if it works for you, and I will honor any trial memberships with the perks as well with one-on-one COTC help. I'm not that petty. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, please like and subscribe for more COTC content to come. Just that alone and giving and watching my content means the world to me. I love you all, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Otherwise, I'll see you all later. Peace.